Not with the U.S. anyway.
No.
Sometimes.
Even for self-defense?
I have in self-defense, but that's uncommon, and it's against the rules to do it. And I would never do it in a case that would not be justified. For instance, in one case, a commander was shot in front of me, and there was nobody to help, and a lot of bullets were flying, and I picked up a gun and did get involved. But that's very uncommon. Normally, I don't carry anything but a camera and a pen.
If you're on your own, not being embedded with a military unit, are you armed personally? No, still not. You are.
In Afghanistan, yes, because they have been kidnapping journalists. You know, it is important to be prepared there, because there is a high kidnapping threat. And so it's just the prudent. Now, I'm not really a journalist. I'm a writer. And as you know, journalists get upset when they hear about a journalist carrying a gun. But I'm not a journalist. I'm a writer. And so I play by slightly different rules. But even in America, journalists are not supposed to carry arms when they go into a risky area? That would be their choice. If in different states have different laws in the United States. In some states, if they had a license to carry a pistol, they could carry one as well.
What about, you know, Iraq? In Iraq, do they allow you to carry arms as a war correspondent or a writer or a journalist, whatever? Some
of the journalists did, actually. At times. I did not in Iraq. But Afghanistan, yes. I mean, it's important. The kidnapping threat is very high. You may have to defend yourself, but not when I'm with soldiers. Never carry a weapon with when I'm with soldiers. And you know, it really, again, many journalists have a great distaste to hear that somebody would do that. But once you get over there and see the extent of the danger, you know, it's not smart not to, actually. But again, that's coming from a writer, not a journalist.
Well, if it's so risky, what is the advantage of being embedded with a military unit in a war?
Well, when you're embedded, you learn what our plans are, because I go to the secret briefings. I'm in the headquarters, or I'm out with the troops. I see how our troops are treating people. I watch that very closely. Are the American or British forces mistreating the local people? Are the people giving them information? You can't see that unless you're with them. So there's advantages to that. But you know, it's like there's many different vantage points to be had in the war. And so it's important to sample many of these things and try to make sense of the chaos, which can be, you know, quite complicated. As with Thailand, there's many different vantage points. You could be with the police and the army and see one side, or you could go in the red shirt camp and camp out there with them and see another side. But both, it's important to also get out with the normal people and say, you know, what do you think, or read what they're writing to each other, and, you know, that sort of thing. So there's, as you know, as a longtime journalist yourself, it's very important to see many sides.
But if the military unit that you are embedded with decides to do something bad, they would not allow you to be with them. So they will say, you know, on this particular trip you're out because we're going to do something we can't let you see. Would that be the case?
The people would tell you. And so, I mean, there has been cases where things bad have happened in Iraq and Afghanistan. American and British soldiers are very professional and disciplined. And for the most part, they don't do illegal actions. But it has happened. It's happened in Afghanistan, and it's happened in Iraq. And you find out from the people. Because the people do have cell phones, or they have a motor scooter, and they can come and tell you. And so it won't be hidden. Maybe in previous wars you could hide it, but not now. There's too many people with too many means for communications. And also there's many media outlets in both Iraq and Afghanistan. So they don't have to find CNN. All they have to do is get to an internet cafe and upload the photos. There were people during the Iraq War that were saying that we were hugely covering up casualties, and I said that's ridiculous. We can't cover up U.S. casualties. I mean, everybody knows, the families know, everybody sees what happens. I mean, it's best to be in the open about it.
When you are embedded with them, do you have to write or sign an agreement of not saying things you're not supposed to say, or the confidential briefings?
Yes. The classified information, if you violate what they call OPSEC or operational security, that's it. It's over. You're gone. And that's understandable because the information that you're exposed to often is top secret.
Yep.
And you're aware of upcoming operations. You become aware of tactics that you should never talk about. And so, yeah, you do sign that agreement. But, you know, I have family and friends who are still in the U.S. military. So for me, I don't need to sign the agreement because I do sign it, but I would abide by it anyway. It's my own blood in there. So,
So what's your plan in Thailand?
well, I'll head to Chiang Mai.
Yes.
And see the situation there. I do need to do some writing about Afghanistan that I did not complete. And I'll take a quick trip to Singapore. And probably come back to Thailand before I go back to Afghanistan.
Are you going to make Thailand your beat?
You know,
one of the main beats?
I hope not for war reporting.
I hope not either.
But you know, I am thinking about